So we'll do the opening prayers, just the abbreviated opening prayers, beginning on page 3.
Так, начинаем с предварительных молитв.
English and once in Tibetan.
Так, на экране представлен текст.
On page 3.
Третья
In the
страница.
Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and
Будет
other
армии
good
Санки,
deeds, may
самых
I
драгоценных, я
attain
принимаю
Buddhahood for the
прибежище
sake of all
вплоть до
sentient
полного
beings.
просветления,
In the
а
Buddha, the
благодаря
Dharma, and the Sangha most
заслугам
excellent, I take refuge
добродетели
until
и
enlightenment
другим,
is reached. Merit
пусть
of
я достигну
generosity and other good
состояния Будды
deeds, may
на
I
благо всех
attain
же
Buddhahood for
чувствующих
the
существ.
sake of all sentient beings.
Пусть все матери, живые существа, бесконечные в пространстве, обретут счастье, причину счастья. Пусть все освободятся, будут свободны от страданий и причины страдания. Пусть они никогда не будут отделены от счастья, свободного от страдания. И пусть все пребывают в равности, свободном от принятия и отвержения.
May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness which is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion.
Ma nam ga dai nyam be sem je tam je de wa dai de vi je dai de bo ju je dong ge ju da je wa ju je dong me be de wa da me de wa ju je ye le ja da ye da je ve da nyong la ne ba ju je.
We actually don't have the prayer to turn the wheel of Dharma, but those of you who know it, we can still do. Please turn the wheel of the Dharma of the two vehicles and their combination according to the dispositions and mental capacities of sentient beings.
Sem je nam je sam ba ta lo ye je da
Пожалуйста, поверни колесо Дхармы, две колесницы, собрание двух колесниц, согласно расположению и умственных способностей всех живых существ.
Good afternoon.
Здравствуйте.
So to all of you, thank you so much for coming here.
Спасибо всем, кто пришел сюда. Ташиделек всем. Мы находимся в Мексике.
So It is certain that from lifetime to lifetime, or for many, throughout many lifetimes, we
И
have
на протяжении многих
karma
жизней
and aspiration prayers. So we've created the karma and
и
made
а,
aspiration prayers
мы
that
накапливаем карму,
have
и
created this
благодаря
moment that we're all sharing
вдохновительным
together
молитвам,
now. At this
с
time
которыми
when
мы с вами
we
сейчас
have
делимся,
this opportunity to actually be in the presence of the Buddha in human form, who,
и
is His Holiness Kьябгон,
благодаря этому мы
the
пребываем
wishful filling
сейчас
jewel,
в
Дрикунг Kьябгон Четсанг
в
Ринпоче,
этом человеческом
that
теле.
the fact that he's come here, that we have the karma or the fortune to be in his presence,
И
to
мы
meet him,
имеем
and
благую
not just to meet
причину,
him, but
заслугу
to actually receive his
встретиться
instruction, and
сейчас
especially to
с
receive
учением, получить
empowerment from him. This can only
наставление,
come about through
посвящение.
the definite karma, creating
И
the karmic
все это
causes,
благодаря
and having made
накопленной
aspiration
благой
prayers
карме.
in former lives.
Tene ta ngara zamna train ke chi ta tutsu ne ta mosque khare da right time wa most auspicious day tene je chadores tingdos.
So, in his opinion, he says it really is the best kind of moment or time possible,
Лучший
and
момент
the most auspicious moment.
это благоприятный момент в
Tene
нашей жизни,
ta chi
получения учения.
namba chi ne yango lakpar tu ke tene Дрикунг ka ju chi na lo mangbo do deng tindi ta lo yango senari tindi ji mangbo ji phebyo des tindi indu ben jamgo yi no chang ro shawi na ta thalo ben 80 man 78 ro tindi ti je la tene ta dong kong lo som cho som hyoge sung ro wa tindi ta je china yang ko pep to great yin yang ko ji tu namju na ji je ta par traveling chi ya ke je yung ma ri sam dos.
And the reason for this is because also,
И причина этому
for those who are Dharma practitioners, and especially in the Дрикунг Kagyu,
для тех,
a
кто
lot
является
of
практиком
our
дхармы,
great
особенно
masters are
в традиции
become,
Дрикунг
kind of
Кагью,
advanced in age. And Loma. Oh, sorry, not the masters, the students. So the students, a lot of the students are getting older, and so to
и
have the opportunity
ученики
to
становятся
meet,
старше и
His
старше,
Holiness
и
now,
у
as we're
нас
aging,
есть
and
благая
especially
возможность
because there may not
встретить
be,
Его Святейшество
we don't know
сейчас,
how many
получить от
opportunities there
Него
will be in the
учения.
future, because His Holiness Kьябгон Yishin Norbu, or the wish fulfilling jewel, is 78 now himself, and he
И
is going. His
ему
plan is
сейчас
to go
76
into
лет,
3-year
он подобно
retreat,
драгоценности для
and so
нас.
it may not be the case that he will continue to travel like this as frequently.
И мы хотим, чтобы он жил еще долго и даровал нам учения.
But then because of aging, so yes, maybe he can come. We hope, but not like sort of every year, So, tindi imbi ki jum center diane, one ta train ne ji loma ning ba zola, chang so de chimbore, and jebare tindi telayang, ji one ji si ran ta, one chang so la tai, kokop sambojiri ting those.
And so he really feels today is an especially important and auspicious, is it loud enough? Yeah. Auspicious day, especially for those students who are getting older, and he feels especially, really happy that
И
you
для
have
тех
had this
студентов,
opportunity
для всех нас,
as a result of your
кто
great merit and
становится
fortune,
с каждым
and he
годом
really
все старше и
rejoices
старше,
that you all have
и,
had this precious opportunity to meet
а,
His
и
Holiness.
oda tiga na
еще раз
yike
мы получаем благую
kokab tri
возможность
jik nangpa sarwa
получить
sinari
драгоценное учение
lukchu
от Его
sinari
Святейшества.
taso mangpo ji jamgo yinru kumdu la tene jik jamro domba hyu tene jedur jik wang top tene ji yinru koda chu chiya ke ko sawon yabo jik tabhya yore tene teyang tene jik maungbe ke ko juntu nin roya te yungre tene yinru te ke chenpo jiri tengidos.
And then also for those who are younger,
И для
and
тех,
have
кто, для молодых
this
людей,
opportunity as well, and you have met, you
также
have been able to
это
meet with His
большая
Holiness to request
возможность
refuge, to take the vows of refuge, to
встретить
receive
Его Святейшество и получить от Него
Hevajra empowerment. That now you
а,
have seeds,
благословение и
for
дарование учений.
continuing to practice Dharma, continuing your Dharma practice in the
И
future. So it's also likewise very,
для
very
них есть
auspicious
возможность
for everyone of
продолжать
all ages.
практику дхармы в будущем.
oda tindu tindi ke ta kokap sambo tindi ji chungbare tindu jik changme ke kokap tila ji ngone jewa ngome ke le thang molam tindi ji chungha samba chin tine changso gawa ji towa ji gores.
And so you can also really feel
Также вы
happy
можете
or have a
почувствовать
sense of gratitude or
чувство,
delight in your own
переживание
really
счастья
wonderful fortune and merit that has
от
come about through your
такой
own efforts, your own
невероятной
karma,
возможности.
and aspiration prayers.
Tiga na yita nga tso ji delanda wo somo tambi na tine ta ji nambe ki chuunde ke karsena ta ji se nekap tang tatok nin ke ko dechi kida jungsan rawo ji chaadi yore tinde yindu ji yinba he ne ta nga tso tindi pento sende yang penba chima yang penbe ke tene ta nambe ki chuutela yang ji ko karse gore tegasra de yo mare nga so tesungdo tene toba go gore samba go gore gomba go gore sungore tene toba chizi ki yu samba china gomjaksa oda gomba china gomjakse ke ta sajaje go gu yorwa tene indu ta tananga so ji karse gore the good circumstance che tene khandariya nga zoda chunyamna chia ke chise ki yu tiniji chadi yores.
And so also if we think about it, the circumstances or the conditions that
Если
allow
мы
for us
рассматриваем
to
условия, которые
practice Dharma through our Dharma
позволяют
practice,
нам
we create
выполнять подлинную практику
good
дхармы,
fortune or merit in this life, there's
то
benefit in this life, and then
мы
also
понимаем,
in future lives,
что
and
это
there's our practice
благодаря
leads
благой
to
заслуге в
both
прошлом.
the temporary happiness and well-being, and
И,
also the
но тем не менее мы
ultimate
должны
goal.
понимать, что это все
And so
временная
that's really the
ситуация.
source of all happiness. These two types of
И
happiness is the
источник
Dharma,
счастья
practicing Dharma.
является
So it will
практика
benefit us
дхармы,
in this life, it will benefit us in future lives,
которая приносит благо
and
в этой
it
жизни
isn't
и в
coming in
будущих.
contact with the Dharma isn't just something that happens kind of
И,
by circumstance. That's impossible. It really
и
has
мы
to
должны
occur
практиковать дхарму независимо от обстоятельств.
through specific causes and conditions, and having engaged, in the activities in former lives of study, contemplation, and meditation.
Но
And so
также
we want to
выполнять
continue in these
практику
activities of study,
созерцания,
contemplation, and meditation. But in order to do so, we have to
медитации.
have, for instance, a place, the circumstances or conditions that allow those
И,
activities to
и
deepen and develop. So
мы
a place
хотим,
for
чтобы
listening to the Dharma,
обстоятельства
a
позволяли
place for
нам
engaging in
подлинно
contemplation and
выполнять
meditation.
эти практики.
And so, there we need to have a place for practice or the right conditions
И
or
нам
circumstances.
необходимо определенное место для практики.
다 드링어서 갈색 거래 다 이누르게 다 가세나리 강타지 몸이 맥장정보지 토네 되네 단딜라 직 도성 군성 그냥래 지스리디 이나양 트레인 다 맥스카네 되네 다 제도제데 그때는 도와줘 거래스 또 송송도 되는데 되네 다디 지 그냥 당이 공휴일에 따고 지 도와줘 미나데 곰자비나데 지식이 유지 요왔더라더니 다 세지 내가 되네 다 도와줘 그래 송로와 더마도 온가서 지 즉시 유미나 도와줘 그래 송이 아요 말와
And so also kind of in connection with what His Holiness was speaking to today,
И связь с его святейшеством, когда он дает учение, создает связь с ним и на будущее. Это дает возможность углубиться или связаться с учением, и в особенности с учением Хеваджре, которое мы сегодня получали. И для практики Друпчен, этой тантрической практики, нам необходимо специальное место.
중사디 딱 가지고 냠란치와 참마치기요리 이나 디나 중사디 말발로서 토디요리 다 말발로서 토요리는 말베이케 나오네 다지 라미키주 로와 바주 마주 이미키주 요리 다주 토쇼 디 나오네 근데 다저 갈색거리 냠란치게 킹어다 말바차디요로와 이내 양다 갈래 제 갈색 거래 조치가 뒤 나네 다 말베기 그 이담 때와데 또 제도지 차디거래 뒤에 단다 디스틱다 냠내히다 진행 매원로지 로와 단기 송송 제탕 딩장 제탕다 dem조탕 범모도 냠내 지거래 접chen 요래 이내 양 고제도지 디스코다 냠로도 송도와 된디네
And so, with regard to this practice of Hevajra,
благодаря практике Хеваджры, и она является источником всех практик Кагью, она восходит к мастеру Марпаладзаве. Она включила в себя принципы высших йога-тантр.
But primarily, Marpa, his main yidam practice was Hevajra.
Но и главной практикой Марпаладзавы была практика Хеваджры, тантры. И немногие учителя держат эту линию передачи. Но есть также и другие линии, вы знаете, чакрасамвары и других эдамов.
revitalize it. This is part of His Holiness's efforts, and so it's really
И
very important, actually.
эта линия,
This is, again, very
она
auspicious for being
живет
enacted.
без остановки, и таким образом его святейшество Кьябгон Четсанг Ринпоче, он получил и, в свою очередь, передает нам это учение.
베나 대송소 가소기 남베기 추디 콩뚝사디 산지 좀 된데를 차디요레스 티인도 다 제당 산지 좀 되는 주되어다 단다 망보요레 이네요 산지 좀 된데를 콩도 드가나 이게 가르송요 라비나 제당 예휴이나 양고 탭지로야요레 뭐본다고다 베나 무슬림이나 크라운 티니 탭이요레 시네야 남바 제당 남베초 망보지 요티나 남바 지게 다 냠래 치아데 텐디직 넘바 칸트는 소세고르지 냠래 치아 men도 텐디인도 다 정원이 그변나 달마 파다로이나 다나 히나야나 요레 마하야나 요레 제컵 창만나 요레 자기 간 요레 인지기 간 요레 다 텐디인도 텐디 종나 약보도 som지 빼다지 참아 니 줄로 지부마이 바다 변나 법에 줄로 지부마이 바 가주 지부마이 바 가주나는 빼나 단 딩고까지 지구만이 바꾸지 땜바 찔라 배미장 링보 드리제게 사이난 거요레스
And so also, again, another source, or the main source of all of the Buddha Dharma.
Также другим источником практики дхармы Будды Шакьямуни. Мы знаем, что все источники дхармы, они восходят к Будде Шакьямуни. Это сутры и некоторые тантры. И все они имеют единый источник, единые тексты.
And so His Holiness has also said that book, really for us as Buddhist practitioners,
Его Святейшество говорит, что это книга Дхаммапады, она едина для традиции Хинаяны, Махаяны и Ваджраяны.
Consult with sort of as the heart of the Buddhist tradition. That text is the Dhammapada, or should be the Dhammapada.
То есть это единственный текст, который одинаков для всех трех колесниц, это Дхаммапада.
다 말보에 기담 때와 차들이나 다 텔레디스치 갈세나 다 냠구 세나리 텔리직 냠내 진행 히라 메드 냠구 세나다 디크리스로 디크리싱 차데와텔라 테네 다 스피시픽 테네 제돌제데 소그레 손이다 중도와 디나 코템바 네토고다 템바 소토고요.
And so in the same way, he's also that he emphasizes the importance of practicing and studying the Dhammapada. He also
очень важно изучать и практиковать Дхаммападу, учение от Дхаммапады.
Practice in the same way, because of these reasons, because it is like the main yidam practice of Marpa, and
и учитывая, что главная практика Марпы,
for the preservation of the teachings, these two are especially important.
Дабы сохранить эту традицию, очень важно выполнять эту практику.
Penabod Gayandawina, Mambo Nekondonga Yore, Gomba Mombo Yore, Lama Mombo Yore, Yinayang Tinane, Ta, Yu the Dumane, Sanji Kita, Chutama Sungsa, Penayene Lonistanga Suk, Netalayan, Tande Tuzola, Kotis, Karsegorada, Anyamgu Sacho, Sakulungo Sendewa, Sakulungo Senata, Mehira Rubio Marwa, Rubio Mare. 토나요 말에 상마지 노고요레스 든디 텔라다 잠원 모치기다 단다 니우 그때네 다 공부 전부 휴이 잡요레스 다티네 템바 찔라고 가네지 또 현로고요나 드니 텔레야 쏘야 기타 다기 당요레스.
And then also, in a similar way, with regard
И
to
таким же образом
like this is on a kind of level, or on the level of a physical place, His Holiness is also engaged in really
на
vast
уровне
activity
физического тела
to
Его
revitalize
Святейство
a very important holy place. So the Buddha, there's so many
объяснил, что
important holy
необходимо
places. The place, Lumbini, that was the birthplace of the Buddha.
связано, физическое место связано с этой практикой, это Лумбини, где Будда ушел. Также место Шравасти, где Будда провел много времени.
25 years or more, or probably even more, but every 25 years somewhere he stayed at Shravasti for the
находился в Шравасти, проводил там летние ретриты. Но и это, поэтому это место является священным. И его Святейство осуществлял много, прилагал много усилий для того, чтобы обновить, как-то оживить это место для паломничества и для выполнения практик там.
즉 도승구도 장고는 뭐지게 행동 찍답이네요. 행동 텔레대네. 근데 즉 자치부 부시 근데 즉 심장 치엘라요. 돈도 들어가나 이게 즉 칼롱 근데 이게다 팽규와 천지 그런서 행동 되기다 옥시겐으로 롱되고 근데 지네드네 자치 못하는 지 나요레 있긴다. 지금 참면 챙겨주지래 이나야다 고탄다 나랑 고감도 생기더니 되지 슈빈스.
And so also, as he mentioned before, His Holiness has so many
Его Святейство говорило, что многие просветленные активности, которые совершил Будда,
very vast environmental activities,
связаны с определенными местами и направлены на защиту окружающей среды. И даже если посадив одно дерево, то оно становится, вы создаете как бы жилище для многих живых существ. Также микроскопических существ, которые живут на этом дереве или благодаря этому дереву. Дерево выделяет кислород, и все это благодаря тому, что чтобы посадить одно всего лишь дерево на земле.
I don't know if he mentioned, but
He did.
he did close to 2 million, I think. Yeah, over 1 million.
I think 3 million, right? I heard. Huh? No, this is general. So the seabuck tone is the specific thing, but he planting the different trees, the easy to grow high altitude. So total, how much?
Говорится про какой-то вид дерева, которое быстро
He
растет.
told me over in Ladakh, over 1 million. But I didn't hear what he said when he
Okay.
was teaching. Did
Over 1
anybody?
million.
Yeah.
Так, что-то в Ладаке
Okay, so
говорил
that's how
кто-то,
much
что
benefit.
на миллионе лет. Ну, непонятно.
What in the but interesting, right? So the Florida is just, I think, my opinion is not big deal in the trees. They grow very quickly.
Ну, это мое мнение по
Sometimes
поводу
it's not
роста
kind of
этого
but not
дерева.
like the ladder. So that's benefit, So I think every different area. So
Но я думаю, что
in the Florida,
такие деревья
Ladakh
растут
and
не
high
только в
altitude,
Ладаке,
before the no trees at
на
all,
большой высоте.
Since I don't know this million years ago, maybe I don't know. What is the JK Kadi Jangore also I back to subject Hevajre again.
Итак, вернемся к теме учений Хеваджры.
Randomly June 2 다지 그 지시 남내 그와들라 드네 예도지 그 좀주 수야게 되네 다 드네가 너무 hir종게 되니 지야게 되네 차리우스
So these are just some things, to help us to reflect on his great qualities and activities and kindness. But then back to Hevajre,
когда мы размышляем о благих качествах этой практики,
just
то
say this randomly, like he didn't give us this activity to practice Hevajre here randomly.
то его свидетельство не так часто дает посвящение учения Хеваджры. И он передал это учение для того, чтобы сохранить его. И чтобы люди имели возможность практиковать его и дальше.
Certainly, well organized. Logic no nido tende mayimba use.
And so, that being the case, he feels it's really important that this is something that's done well, that's thought out with planning, and that it isn't just something we kind of throw together and do suddenly, but that it's really well organized, that we have some maybe training in the practice.
Это учение хорошо организовано, и оно будет иметь продолжение учения в практике. И требуется поддержание, выполнение постоянно этой практики, не время от времени.
레발라 되네 다 되니지 참에게 갈색거다 같이 두고요나 되니 제지 되네 다 텔랍도 되가서 제도지 축사디 들리스 노스 아메리카와 되는 동어지고 말에 노스 아메리카와 되니 이제 getting 고기어레스.
So, mhm. So, in order for that to happen, he can't just do it on his own. There has to be kind of a collective dedication and effort to this.
И
We need
лучше,
everybody's
конечно, если
support and
будут
involvement,
выполняться
and
практика коллективно.
because he really has great hope that this will be something that can really be established well. And as
И
Holiness
я
said,
надеюсь,
it's not just
что
for Dongor, but
вы будете
it's for
выполнять
all of North
практику
America.
правильно, и она распространится по
So
всей Северной Америке.
so we have to support and also specific support or funding. So please help us, and also we
И
this is
прошу,
benefit,
поддержите наш
us,
фонд.
so not for individuals, so benefit for sentient beings and benefit
На
individual.
благо живых существ.
So also I
И,
think really the important,
и
particularly in the
я
West.
думаю, что
So one
важно,
hand is yes, we are here. So we can say I don't know many Buddhisms, but compared to population, not really, not many, right? And also we said, oh yeah, I am practice, 40 years.
но вы можете сказать, вот я практикую уже 40 лет
Yes, we
или
can say long time ago,
долго,
but one hand is not long time.
но,
Okay? So
но
this,
это не так много
like
времени
India,
на самом
2,500
деле.
years ago, like Tibet, and I don't know, 1,000 years ago,
Или
So
как
that's
в Индии
pretty good
начали
established,
практиковать 2500
So
лет назад,
we
или в Тибете
still
около
young.
1000 лет.
He means
Но
So
мы
we have
остаемся
to,
все равно, по сравнению с этими цифрами, мы
have
остаемся
to
очень
many establish,
молодым поколением.
increasing to Dharma activities.
И, тем не менее, мы развиваем активности дхармы.
단대게 or generations 단대게 Buddhism practitioner depends chagres. Matsu yabuyuna tene pede. Maumba roa hundreds thousands yabu chagres. 이내야 단다 ngazuki beginning ngazung gu중엔텔라 히라 메비나 대 남바 갈래 갈지 이는 매와 차로 쓰그레스. 이는 남배 쪽 퀄리티 대 누구 말이스. 이내야 그 depending practitioner 때네 때네 직진아 그 decrease 차 쓰그레스.
And so this is a really important point because right now, like our
И это
generation
очень
and
важно, потому что прямо
in some
сейчас
ways it's up to us.
практики дхармы,
Because whether the success, long-term success of Buddha Dharma depends on the practitioners.
и
So in the future,
практика
if
дхармы, она
we
зависит от нас, от
really
практикующих.
true and
И в
authentic,
будущем
qualified
Good
practitioners,
start. Pretty
if
good start.
we start this off well, then it will continue, into the future.
И если мы
If,
будем
though, the
начинать
practitioners don't
качественно
really,
выполнять практику, то в будущем,
do it so well or start off so well,
да,
then
выполнять
it
ее
will be difficult
правильно,
for the Buddhism
старательно,
the authentic Buddhism really to take root
Maintaining,
and flourish and continue
то
for
мы
many
тем самым
years.
поддержим
In fact, it can,
учение
it can
Дхармы,
actually
учение
be,
Будды и
something that kind of
позволим ему
decreases over time, or it
расцветать,
eventually, it
и,
kind of
но
dies
не
out, in the West. So
деградировать
it's really
учению.
crucial that the practitioners kind of understand the role that they
И
have in
очень важно,
establishing
чтобы
the true
практикующие
Buddha Dharma.
понимали вот эти ключевые
Right, so
моменты.
it is like turning point, So and also depends we are practitioners how work
И
hard.
все это зависит от нас,
Right.
практикующих
We
во
just-
всем мире.
Oh, who cares, There may be Buddha Dharma is, we don't know future, but have to care each individually.
Но мы не знаем наше
Also we said,
будущее, и поэтому
We always said
каждый
benefit
должен
for sentient beings, right?
быть ответственным
Yes, of course,
за себя,
We
за свою
cannot
практику.
benefit directly all sentient beings,
Даже если я не могу
how we can benefit other
принести
sentient
благо
beings. So must
самостоятельно
be
вот многим живым
individually,
существам,
I mean, Buddhist practitioners, you know,
но
practice
мы должны
individually
индивидуально
responsibilities.
вкладывать
You know, I have to practice, you know, I
все
do this,
силы,
so I can
участвовать
benefit others. Individually,
в
take care, let this Buddha Dharma is
распространении, в развитии учения, приносить
increase,
пользу
you know.
живым существам.
So, sort of like sometimes say, oh yeah, maybe their job, their centers they're doing, I am just side. And that is not working. So
Поэтому,
must be
если мы думаем таким
whatever
образом, что вот
Dharma
там есть
activities,
центр какой-то, есть
working
сообщество,
together,
которое
practice together, and that
практикуют вместе, а
way
я вот здесь
we
отдельно,
truly be able to benefit all sentient beings. We benefit sentient beings.
то это не очень
So
хорошая
that is,
идея,
I
но
think, very important.
коллективно, когда
So
практики
future, I think
осуществляют какие-то, выполняют
we
какие-то
soon
практики, медитации, в этом
Hevajra, I don't know, cultivate
заключается
or
большая
Hevajra
сила
Drupchen project,
для и приносит, и больше пользы мы
sort of like
приносим живым
kind of
существам.
foundation. Actually, I don't want to like mix in the donor, so separated kind of foundation. So also, so like we have Demi here, so future, you will look at the donor website, so we will. So that's
И
what you
таким
say
образом мы
yesterday.
создали,
Finished last night,
создаем
so but we can take couple of time, please.
организации,
But we will. So
которые построены на
please. So practice
подношении,
many ways, you know, so
добровольном
whatever
подношении,
volunteer,
и эти организации, эти
finance,
общины
and
являются, сообщества,
so let you
являются
know how to benefit, you know.
такими
So I
ячейками
think that's
для
important.
развития учения и сохранения его в
So you
будущем.
probably were expecting him to like give like a great teaching on Hevajra, but
So that looks like Hevajra teaching. What do you think? I think this is just Hevajra big teaching. I think.
Это
That's kind of
не
foundation.
очень выглядит
We
как
can.
учение по Хеваджре тантре,
So we have
но,
really good organized future, you know,
но,
Drupchen and
но
practice
мы хотим
teachings. Then
организовать
very
в
good, you know.
будущем
Hevajra.
друпчен,
So otherwise, I don't know actually really well Hevajra, you know. So I say a couple of words. I don't know how much benefit today, but.
но вот несколько слов я хотел сказать об этом.
제가 나이다 가서 조조게다 로마닝 바트니도 들라 다 지랑소 냠냐고 신기요래 텐드 텐드 티야 나이다 가랑게 지 고책을 지 가시지 쉬아인스.
So there are many old practitioners or older, senior students who are here, and
И есть
you
много
all
старых
know how to
практиков,
practice well already, but
которые
he'll say
практикуют
just a few
хорошо.
words about the practice.
И поэтому хотел сказать несколько слов о практике.
기대와리 닝보 득핵 닝보 되네 태양 되네 연탄 차상 상지 그 이행아에 당연히 상대적에 가서 참여주 이어레스.
And so, as you know, we all have the Buddha nature.
И как вы знаете, у всех у нас есть природа Будды, которая заключает в себе просветленное качество Будды, которое заключает в себе 4 каи, 4 мудрости. У всех у нас есть временные омрачения.
However, those obscurations don't in any way impede or stain or cause the Buddha nature to diminish or
Тем не менее, они не уменьшают имеющееся у нас качество Будды.
However, temporarily, they do obscure us from that nature. They cover it
М,
over.
ам,
Thì
Хотя
사실
и
당
временно
specific
закрывают
기담들이
нас от
요리스 배워버렸어.
природы Будды.
And many of many students already have like a
И
specific yidam practice that you do.
многие из вас
근데 다 딩가는
имеют
저 최효대 기담들이나 다저 최효대
посвящение
easy way
разных
저
идамов.
최효 갈라고 그랬으나 산지 태우고 그랬어.
But sort of the easy way, or maybe even the most important,
Но
is to
более
always
легкий
remember the
путь,
Buddha.
다 뒤에
а,
꼭 갈세나
это
잘고다.
воспоминание о Будде.
자가 삼바라고는 야가 삼바라 곰는 디그리. 이나양다 레라 효티 산지 곰나 야 효레스. 산지 곰 이나 이담 곰는 디그리. 되네. 이나 산지 곰이야텔라 나츠지 화차 카리하고 그래. 빼는가 히렌가라 직섬노 힘바 마음 코르와지. 그러와 오 산지 혈구요나 그 산지 바래 저랑 당이 템포러리 업스큐레이션스 당 바래 다직 메센디기 나려야 지 카판다 다직 투수 돌아다 당 디빈다 다 디비나 다 대가랑 투수 집이나 니마지 야시ren가라 디빈다오다 힘바지 샤나 되네 야 람가 힘바지 간도가 차대거와
So really, if we can habituate ourselves to always remembering the Buddha, this puts a very strong karmic imprint in the mind.
И когда мы вспоминаем о Будде, то мы закладываем кармические отпечатки в нашем сознании. Ну,
Because any deity is fine, but with the Buddha there's a
И
really
каждое
strong
божество
ability
это
to create a very powerful karmic imprint that will be of great benefit to us
прекрасно
when we
само по
die.
себе, оно
So if we
дает
are
отпечатки
become
кармических
habituated
следов,
to always
оставляет.
visualizing and remembering the Buddha, then when we die, the Buddha will
И
appear
когда
to
мы
us, and in that
визуализируем
very
и
moment, all of
вспоминаем
our
о
temporary
Будде,
obscurations will be cleared
когда мы
away,
и
and we will
затем,
attain
когда умираем,
enlightenment
то
in that moment.
все
But if we
мы можем
instead become really
превратить
habituated to
все
always
наши
like
временные
reading our phones,
омрачения в мудрость.
And watching TV, then those things
Но
might
когда
appear at the moment of our death, and they will take us down a different path.
That's real, okay? So that is no excuse, you know. Also, this not hoping, you know, or maybe okay, you know, but I don't know, not work.
так
So
нет никакой
I think
верности,
really is that
работает
very
это или нет.
important, you know. So yes, of course, whatever you don't practice, you sometimes with Dharma
И
practice, you think, oh, I sit down, you know, meditate or look the sadhanas. Of
иногда
course, you
мы
good. But
сомневаемся,
sometimes
что
we
какую
here
практику
is
нам
like
делать, но
very
в
difficult
любом
one,
случае это хорошо,
you know.
медитация,
So yeah, great, you do
практика
that.
какого-то
But you
идама.
can't think about Buddha, you know.
Но вы должны
Also, we take
думать о
refuge, you
Будде,
know, so they said you
когда вы
remember
принимаете
your heart to
прибежище,
eat. That time you remember Buddha. You know, when you walk, you
когда
remember Buddha.
вы кушаете, когда
So
вы
that time
идете,
is no
просто
need.
вспоминайте о
You sit
Будде.
down, close eyes, no need, you know.
Это не
So this,
просто
if you do that again.
сидеть с закрытыми
So also
глазами,
there's no separation in the Shakyamuni Buddha and your mind.
но здесь
So
происходит
same.
какое-то разделение между
So,
вашим
but they
умом
have
и
kind of like
Буддой.
blocked your temporary obscurations,
Возникает такой временный блок,
your own
временное
temporary
омрачение.
So like kind of like thinking about Buddha and Buddha, then naturally you can just feel you Buddha, you know.
Но вы можете
Sometimes you see
почувствовать
this, really I saw many people are dying. So sometimes
качество
I know
Будды.
this painful and then just kind of really worried and
Кто-то из людей слишком беспокоится
through something
об
they
этом.
die. But some people,
Некоторые люди
so moment they die, they know
во время
So then-
смерти они
they clearly remember Buddha.
когда они помнят о Будде.
So that's it. So if that times you remember the Buddha, then
И если в
you
момент
know
смерти
in
вы
fact anything
вспоминаете
from
о
your
Будде,
sickness, you no
то
worry or death. So just completely
э, это
kind of
э,
clean, pure, you know.
полностью
So
очищает
that's very important. This is not coming one day, okay?
ваше
So
омрачение, и это
really,
очень
really
важно.
take time. You have really diligent reading
Но в процессе
again and
в
again
жизни
and
вам
again.
следует
So
прилагать
then one day, so also we
много усилий для
called
этого.
the power practice.
И во время
Something said, oh,
практики
if you
Бхава
remember, so they said,
там
if
говорится, что следует
scary
помнить,
non-dogs chasing you, still not forget these.
If 9 scary dogs are chasing you, you still won't forget the Buddha.
Right. So that's good, you know. If you remember that time, then okay, you know.
That's kind
Otherwise,
of
if you very quickly forget, then I don't know, maybe maybe may die or something. There are a lot of pain for you. There's
что
some painful
не,
worry.
не
May forget
забываются
this
там
Buddha, you know.
какие-то вещи во время
So
смерти.
that's, I think, very important. And
Я считаю это
also
важным моментом,
the human nature, we have sick, that's nature.
то, что природа
Die is
человека
nature.
э,
Aging is nature. So that's nature. That's okay.
Если
So we cannot
человеку
stop, we cannot
свойственно
block.
стареть,
So
болеть, умирать,
no need to tie to anything. But we try to remember Buddha. So that's,
но
I do
главное,
myself
нам
too.
нужно
So I say, oh, you
помнить,
do this, you do this, you know.
помнить о Будде.
I am free now, so I thinking my mind myself too, you know. So I did practice.
Конечно, я в жизни думаю и о других вещах, но о деньгах,
So myself as much as possible.
о других каких-то материальных вещах, но всем нам нужно думать больше вспоминать о Будде.
So important. Thì ta chỉ thằng thằng con hiểu na gì đấy, thế này đảm bảo sống đó, gomba mai gomba London cho na gomba yi, so ta ngã cho kumdi gì chịu na, thế này chỉ thằng thằng ngã cho thằng bố lê thằng bố ban rồi na, chỉ gom chả là lê lâu mẹ ban rồi, nhắm lên khai đấy chỉ là lê lâu mẹ ban rồi, chỉ giờ đấy thì này chỉ kumdi chỉ ya cha số na, thế này chỉ chu nhắm lên chỉ ya thế là, thế này khai sẽ gọi là chỉ
So as Gampopa says, it
Как
is
сказал
not
Гампопа,
meditation so much as it is habituation, and when habituation becomes fully developed, then
нет
it really that's meditation. So for the beginner, it's not easy, and the beginner means a beginner. I'm just translator note, like
То есть
long time beginner, right? Not
медитация
just
создается привычкой,
and so it's not easy at
и нелегко
first, but what it is through habituation. So we again habituate again
развить
and again and
вот эту
again.
привычку, выполнять
And
снова и
then,
снова, повторять.
and this is what Dharma practice is. And then what happens is through that process of
И в этом заключается практика дхармы,
will just become naturally on its own.
которую мы выполняем естественным образом и постоянно.
Temporary obscuration de so jungta de daden zimba de cha de ta nga se ya de thi khalat ko di daden zimba de la che da chung yo de thi ni nga so chu nyam le che ya ke he de khar chin chu nyam le chi gor sam na ta dang zi de gang ta shu go ta di this ko have to hammering to
So The temporary obscurations really come down to the single root of self-grasping, which is
И
the mind that's always
все эти
focused
временные
on
омрачения
I
имеют
or
единый
myself.
корень
There are different
самоцепляния,
degrees of
то
self-grasping,
есть нашего
but
цепляния за
all of our
нашу
Dharma practice
самость, за
is
эго.
really meant to target that root. So all of our practice should be hammering again and again on that
И
root
все
of
эти практики
self-grasping and
направлены на то,
chipping it
чтобы
away.
устранить вот это цепляние за наше эго.
So tiri yang dangzi go mare labdu chiranso khalasa go mare chiranso thonda dog mare khangke cha khangya maris. Ngoni china kange tengen di dangzi tri da. Ngao kange go gmdo wa. Nekabla kange tengen dangzi re tato sanje khomba mendo dangzi cha di yor wa. O tini te ha ko gres. Samne anga so confusing cha gdo wa. Ko dangzi do ta nga thonda dog mendo ta dangzi mena ta peje mena nga
So we don't need to understand
И нам не нужно
self-grasping
понимать,
or letting go of
как
self-grasping to mean
получается
like, we don't have to
самоцепляние,
eat food, we don't need to do any, like
care
что
of
accomplish
нам
anything or take care of
не
ourselves.
нужно принимать
It's
пищу,
really,
не
we
нужно
should just
заботиться о себе.
understand that all of our problems, all of our
И мы
difficulty
должны
and
просто
suffering
понять, что все
comes
наши
from
проблемы
self-grasping. And
происходят
so
от
ultimately, it is the
цепляния за,
self-grasping that is
за
causing
наше
our
«я».
pain, that's causing our own suffering. But it doesn't mean that we have to,
И это не означает, что
completely kind of
нам
like let go of all of our kind of needs, not take care of our
что мы
needs
должны отказаться от
and
всего.
such. Yeah.
tiga na yang nga dharma practitioner zo ta nga tis nyamlen chi cha yi nga yak bo yo nga hing yo san yang dang zi hyo cheren ro na pen yo maris.
And so we also, he's saying, is it should kind of hold ourselves to a standard, meaning that, we are Dharma practitioners. So if
И мы
we consider
практики
ourselves to be
дхармы,
Dharma practitioners and our self-grasping is actually increasing, that's not okay.
и если мы наблюдаем, что у нас цепляние за «я» увеличивается, то это нехорошо.
So, they say that being bound in chains is being bound in chains. Whether the chain is a metal chain or a golden chain,
И
you're still
говорится,
bound
что
all the same.
мы привязаны золотой цепью.
Dharma party ho nga kepa yi nga tokpa yo ro sam na tene sek dam chi khad dam dam lo gres.
So, we think of the metal chain as being like the, afflictive emotions that are maybe easy to recognize.
И
But
мы сравниваем
when,
вот
as
эту
Dharma
металлическую цепь
practitioners, we
с
think, oh,
омрачающими
I have so
эмоциями.
much knowledge, or I'm such a great practitioner,
Или
then you're bound
вот
in
мы
golden
думаем о себе,
chains.
что у нас столько много знаний, мы такие великие практики.
Tene da nga zo ji 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 le zeba chi gre ngone thane nga zo chirang so nga zo ngone zeba use ro ji tarwa tam ji chembe ko ma to ya le ji ne ka de chi yung ya le ta to ge de chi yung ya le tene ki to ne tene chirang so ge nyam le che nga rang ngone ji pa ma ji ke bu gu na ji ro tene ji ke tende use ka de na.
So that's about all he has to say. Please treat one another with love. And he wants
Пожалуйста,
you to know that
относитесь
he
ко
has
всем с
love for all
любовью.
of you. And he really is so pleased by your practice, rejoices in your practice, and knows that it will lead to both temporary and ultimate fruitions of
Выполняйте
happiness
практику,
and well-being,
которая
and
имеет
appropriateness.
относительный абсолютный
He
смысл.
really cares for you, like the only like you are, like he is the parents of you, his only
И
child.
я забочусь о вас, подобно родителю, о своих детях.
Just a practical point, this might be for Virginia. Could you address just that there are now these two sadhanas here, and in the beginning it was the one in the spiral bound, and then there was the 9-day one, but now it seems like it's back to the spiral bound. Like, which is the correct sadhana we should be paying attention to? Or is that not yet 100% clear?
So all corrections. So individually, what you want practice. So also holiness, the two sadhanas. I think after he's coming, so he's giving the transmissions, like the teachings.
Я думаю, что позднее
also
придет Его Святейшество и
Future,
даст
I
передачу
think Hevajra,
на это
so
учение.
the empowerment we received, today. Also,
И
I
мы
think God is giving many empowerment, Hevajra, all world.
Обычно
So I think
Его
one
Святейшество дает
received
много
Hevajra
посвящений по
empowerment
всему миру.
Dasina. So in the Drupchen practice, I think long sadhana we planning.
И в длинной практике
I think whatever, I think
садханы,
holiness, he talked to me. So sometimes these days very busy. So we have
так
short
как он
sadhanas, right? So that is, if you daily
сам
practice,
занят,
that's
и он
certain
попросил
one.
меня
But the
объяснить
Drupchen is a completely different type of
краткую
altogether.
Right,
Yeah.
that's okay. So then,
садхану. Но во
also
время
if you look at
практики
longer sadhana,
Друкчена там
so
выполняют
then we have the text. So actually, in individual practice,
все, и длинную, и
then no
короткую.
need to we call only self-generation, so not infinite generation.
So just to clarify
Там-
a little bit on what he's saying. So Holiness originally said when he looked at, so this translation that's in your booklet came directly
И-
from the empowerment text. But we
И
didn't check it
этот
with Holiness
буклет, он
beforehand. So when he arrived and he looked at it, he
соответствует
said,
тому
"There's two
посвящению,
sections
которое
in
дал
here. There's the
Его
self-generation
Святейшество.
and the
Он
frontal generation of
состоит
the
из двух
deity." And he
частей:
said, "You don't need the
самопорождения
frontal
себя.
generation, just the self-generation. So if you do this practice, then you just do the self-generation. You don't have to do the section that is generating the visualization of the deity in front."
То есть там не нужно визуализировать божество напротив себя, мы порождаем сразу самого
Correct.
себя как божество.
Okay.
And doing the frontal vision.
Right. So these are the used to. So with actually with Drupchen, yes, sub-generation, and also the West generation.
There's also the
three
base
generations.
generation.
But individual, practice like for instance, retreat.
И для практики, индивидуальной практики
Yeah, there's no
мы
harm.
выполняем
No
But
harm, but
take time.
именно
it's-
таким
it's-
образом.
Yeah, just not how it's usually done.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know if at some point in time, you can do like a very succinct explanation of where the Hevajra practice was generated and then transmitted to Marva. But, why say it's important? I know it's very important, but like where did it come from for the first time? I read something on the internet, but I would prefer for Drupa to do like a 5-minute explanation. Where did it come from and why it's so important to our lineage?
고송해.
Right. The important is the Marba bought a lot of like Yidam deities, right? So many Yidam different deities.
He brought them to Tibet.
И существует
But he brought
много
India
разных
to-
эдамов.
So these during the Marba time specific Hevajra. So very important.
И Марпа
So the Hevajra,
особенно
and then this, Marba
акцентировал внимание
disciple,
на
they were chosen to,
Хеваджре.
I think the 7 generations. So kind of like more commentary, the different
Написал
sadhanas.
много
He was
комментариев
striving
на
for 7
садханы.
generations from Ngoku
И
Chumbo
на
to
протяжении
Rinpoche, and then,
нескольких
for 7
поколений, там 7
generations,
поколений,
there were many commentaries and,
создавались
were generated at that time.
многие комментарии
Yeah.
на эту
Yine yata
практику.
mukhtelagosa. Yine dati keche hote
Jakarla.
jagarla karsina yedam de ta ko karsina marba te karsina marbe ke chu dubya te ta jagar kana kharcha che ho imba kharin khepa imba cheji luje khari ki sang je tu gu na bena sirchu lagdo ser phune keche te ha ta na de.
So another reason why it's so important is because, when Marva traveled to India, he was
И когда
particularly
Марпа
in search of like the most
ходил,
precious,
ездил
the
в Индию,
most
то
profound dharma. dharmas, that they could like really bring awakening in a single lifetime. And he offered, tremendous amounts of
Он
gold, in
поднес
this pursuit.
большое количество золота,
So
чтобы
really these
получить учение.
practices that come to us through Marpa from India are like especially profound and important.
И поэтому для нас это учение стало таким ценным, важным.
Right. Ta chitang nga zo tiji ta di na la te thonda mambo yo sa des. Yin yang ta zo kharse na ji muk sok jig la. Dawa nga zo sok jig la yo na. Tene nga zo tele ta ambo nga yo re. Ambo nga tele tene tene ji yu nga thong re. Yu nga la thone tele yang chadang ji che gira wa. Tin du ta mai crop zi di ta ji ron da wa ji gira wa. Karsinata, Jig Nyong Mombanga, Rawa, Yunga, Ambonga, the Takora better, Tamatanchama, name the one of Rawa, Mishanata, Yomara, Ambonga Yomari, Ambonga, Yunga Yomara. What that is old over this. In a young city in the Hill, your race, that other day,
So there are many, like maybe many different ways that this might be described, like what the symbolic meaning of the corpse is. But maybe
Существует много разных описаний.
like this, like so like a human body that's living, an alive human being, has the five faculties are functioning, and when the five
И у
faculties are
человека
functioning, they
5
come into contact with the five objects of the senses, and then you have contact between
качества, 5
the faculties and the objects, and there's
способностей,
affective
5
emotion or
органов
attachment
чувств.
and aversion that arises. And so the corpse represents like kind of the cutting off, of kind of
Труп
the basis
означает
for that mind of attachment to arise, because a corpse that is
отсечение
not alive
привязанности.
doesn't, their five faculties aren't functioning. And so therefore, there's no contact with the objects, and then there's no attachment and
Поэтому
aversion arising. And so
нет
that's what it
контакта
symbolizes. There are
между
different ways to
возникновением и
explain it,
исчезновением.
but the idea is like the deity is pressing down on
И
the head of that
идея
corpse,
того,
sort of
что
subduing,
божество подавляет труп
attachment and aversion that
человека,
arises through the five senses.
это означает, что он подавляет, разрушает привязанность, растаптывает.
Tak, konso chila togre, danga so da chila mang togres.
Kongso Jinlat Mang.
Ngaso
They will definitely receive the blessings, but if you're in person,
we are.
they're stronger blessings.
We physically here,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. My question is about, so I think chakra samvara is associated with the tumo practice and like helps with the tumo practice. Does Hevajre help with something? Help with what does this mean?
Yes, there is kind of like we call Jaga Samvara Tomo, right? But also this six of yoga,
Есть представление, что практика чакрасвары связана, ассоциируется с практикой тумо и с 6 йогах Наропы. Но также существуют и другие идамы, такие как Калачакра. Мы знакомимся с разными идамами, чакрасамвара, Хеваджре, йогини.
Can be like Tomo section is higher, sort of like more method in Hevajra. then
Но более высокий метод это метод
Easier to get to.
Хеваджре.
Yeah. Oh, sure. So the question for that was, usually
И
Chakrasambhara is associated with the practice of Tumo and the six
да, это
yogas,
уже
and she
было,
was
то,
wondering
что
if Hevadra is connected with Tumo or another practice in a similar way.
и вопрос
And
Хеваджра с чем ассоциируется, с чем связано, связана ли она с Тумо или с какой-то другой практикой?
yeah.
Hevajra is the earliest chronologically, it's not Buddhist tantra, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's the earliest Indian, Buddhist Indian tantra. The oldest.
Can be, yeah.
oh, the question was, or he was saying,
И
he
вопрос,
believes that the Hevadra Tantra is actually the oldest Indian Tantra.
вопрос, что Хеваджра Тантра это самое старое.
Okay, so you
Ну,
have,
считается, что Хеваджра Тантра
also
самая старая
is,
из тантр.
okay. Or you what means offering, like 7 offerings or what?
Oh, you mean in like physical arranging your shrine? Yeah.
Yes. Similar like Jagasamvara. Or
Oh,
the
sorry. Yeah, we'll let him answer. The question was, is there a special way to arrange your
Вопрос.
shrine or like certain offerings that you need to make when practicing Hevadra?
Следует ли
Thank you very
какие-то,
much, and also Holiness.
ну, выполнять
We can start
обряды
here, so we
подношения
have to bathrooms.
согласно
So
практике
also
Хеваджи?
we after Holiness teachings, we donor offering to mandala to Holiness, and
Ну, а мы
then after
обычно
that,
подносим мандалу его
so the body
святейшеству.
offerings to Holiness.
М,
So
м,
if you some
м,
prepares.
Подносим хадак.
If you need to make your preparations, now is the time to do it in terms of kataks, offerings, because at the end of this afternoon session, the Dongar Center will offer a mandala to His Holiness, and then there will be an opportunity for everybody to make your own
Подносим
offerings.
мандалу,
Yeah, we will
и
have the
тогда у
kathaks
нас есть
as well as
возможность
envelopes set up towards the back of the shrine room.
попросить
So if you need an
учение.
envelope or a kathak, you can find them. And we also, so another thing, this is, thank you for that, Paula. So another thing, especially following His Holiness's teaching and Drupal Rinpoche reminding us of His Holiness's effort to cut down trees. Personally, I'm feeling slightly
To plant trees.
to plant trees. And you can see my affliction in this moment as I'm hearing the chainsaws across the street cutting down trees. And so that's where my mind is. And in this moment, as we're talking about planting 1 million trees, I'm hearing them cutting them down. And so sorry about that. But so I want to remind you all that we still have 20 trees left. If you cannot bring them home, we will plant them for you here at Drung Nor, Changchu Bling. So please make an effort to see Paula, and for $40 we can,
Yeah, so
and that
it's,
money is going to be offered to His Holiness as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
And Drupan wanted us to do dedication for him.
By the
So we can
virtues
just buy the virtues
collected
collected in the
three
3
times.
times.
Давайте посвятим заслуги.
Samsara and nirvana. And by the innate root of virtue,
Пусть все живые
may
существа
I
будут
and all
освобождены от
beings
сансары,
fully attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious
обретут нирвану.
enlightenment. May the teachings of the great Дрикунг Ratna Shri, who is omniscient,
И
Lord of
пусть
the Dharma,
учение
Master of interdependence, continue and increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation until the end of samsara.
Thank you.
4 o'clock,
Спасибо
we
всем.
come back.
Так, продолжение в 4 часа, ну, я не знаю, это по нашему времени, наверное, поздняя ночь будет.